Just like any other institution, the church has an image. When you ask them for their image of Anglicanism, oh, well, it's that woolly church where everything goes. That fair?
No, not at all. The Church of England has a set of beliefs which are laid out in the Book of Common Prayer, in the new prayer books too, in the creeds that we all sign up to. What we have, of course, is a history of a lot of pluralism about the detail and a certain tradition of tolerance about those who challenge even some of the fundamentals. I think people who are Anglicans for reasons. They believe that while the central facts of the faith are there, there's a place for being a bit laid back about some variations on the edges.
Do you think there's a danger of being a bit too laid back? Those churches where the message is pretty uncompromising, they're growing. You aren't putting people into the pews.
I'm not sure it's a completely accurate analysis, actually. Certainly there are a lot of big-ticket, high-profile, large churches that are growing, and often growing in a way which has effects nationally and internationally. Holy Trinity Brompton is one of the best examples of that. But you have to remember, I think, that an awful lot of parish churches in this country may not have huge numbers to talk about, but they may be in percentage terms and proportion terms within their community, really dealing with a very large sector of that particular population locally.
I think, however, we do have to face up to some rather gloomy facts. And we're now down to 3 million people who go to one Christian church or another on a Sunday. Do you seriously think that's reversible?
What we've seen in the last few years has been a fairly steady increase in the number of people who are offering themselves for ordained ministry. And that's a significant fact about the health of the church, I believe. But here we're in a society where a lot of the old forms of community have faded away, and the church, as part of that, has less of a grip than it did. Whereas a society which, on the whole, because of its consumerism, has shrunk its horizons. It hopes for less, it thinks less of human beings.
Is consumerism rather than secularism the enemy?
Well, it would be a bit arrogant to say I think we can cope with secularism, but secularism as an intellectual challenge isn't new. Christians have coped with this and doubtless will. But if you combine that with this sense that people think less of what's possible for human beings, think more of material prosperity, it does add up to a really challenging situation.